So it's a gardening it's weed eaters. I don't care. I'm just gonna record. Let's start the show. Hey Luke, what have you been playing lately? I'm still playing Final Fantasy XIV a lot, and that's it. That's pretty much all I've done this week. Just Final Fantasy XIV. Like I'm doing some other stuff, but that's all being recorded. I don't need to talk about that. You'll see that soon enough anyway. You don't want to know. I started fishing. I did a lot of fishing. I got my fisher. They call it a fisher. Fisherman? Okay, maybe it's not totally PC. Okay. Angler, not fisher. Fisher sounds stupid. It sounds like a bird. Don't call it a fisher. Anyway, I got that from level 1 to 37 in less than a week, which actually isn't that impressive when you find out that there are speedrunners out there that can do it in like 30 hours, which is insane. I do not have the patience to fish for that long. That being said, fishing is a lot more fun in 14 than it was in 11. And it's way more fun than it was in a lot of other games. I don't know what it's like in WoW. But in this, you get skills that you can use just like any other form of combat. You do spend time waiting, though. You know, you cast your line and you wait. And then you get a bite. You pull it in. There isn't very much... the fish nibbles, and then you try to hook the fish and you don't get it or lose your bait or something. There isn't very much of that going on. I'd say at least probably more than 99% of the time, you're going to get a bite and you're going to catch a fish. I'm still talking about Final Fantasy XIV fishing. That's boring. But there you have it. I'm a big fan of fishing in MMOs. I don't know why. It's relaxing. You get to just sort of sit there and appreciate the environment. Anytime you come across a new body of water, you're like, oh, sweet. Switch to fisherman and start, fishing. I don't know if I've explained the dynamic of Final Fantasy XIV, but basically each class has a particular weapon. Like, you don't get to switch around weapons. In most MMOs, if you're a warrior, you can equip axes, you can equip one-handed swords, two-handed axes, staffs. Actually, if you're a warrior, you can equip almost any weapon there is. But in this game, if you're a warrior, then you're going to have the big double butterfly two-handed axe. That's your weapon, or marauder, however you want to cut it. No pun intended. Likewise, if you're a mage, you have a book or something. I don't know anything about mages. If you're a monk, you have the Castus or Boganox or whatever those things are. I don't know. I can't pronounce half the shit in Final Fantasy. What about Coeurl? I found out the other day that you're supposed to pronounce it Coeurl. I had no idea. It's those cat things with the things that... I don't know. Like I said, can't pronounce half the shit in Final Fantasy games. Really can't. Anyway, that's it. That's literally all I've been playing. I played a little bit of Volgar the Viking because, ooh, that game. Aside from that, also... Hey, you know what? The movie Gravity. Have you seen the trailer for the movie Gravity? Look it up, because I don't know what it's about. It looks pretty cool, but all the trailers just show are Sandra Bullock flying through space crashing into shit. Like, that's it. That's all I've seen involved. I haven't even seen George Clooney's face. I mean, I'm told he's in it by the cast list, but what the fuck is that movie about? So, I've spoken about the Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter before. It's the original creator, Mega Man, went off on his own and wants to make his own Mega Man game. Started a Kickstarter for it. This is the closing now. It's closed off finally. Remember, he reached his goal in the first 2 days. He wanted $900,000, and he reached that in the first 2 days. The funding stays for, I think it's like 30 days is the norm. It closed off at $3 million. It closed off. Oh, damn it. It's not funny. One for the blooper reel. It closed off at $3,845,170. and they only wanted 900,000. So almost $4 million to get that made. I think it'll get made. I'm curious if anybody bought the extra super deluxe expensive package where you have dinner with the man himself. It was like 10 grand. Oh, 2 backers for the $9,999 pledge, 4 backers for the $10,000 pledge. Dinner and drinks with the man, the myth, the legend, Keiji Inafune. That's crazy. 4 people paid that much money. What that tells me is, and the $9,999 thing too, that's ridiculous. There were 2 backers on that. 3 backers on the 5,000. What that tells me is there are some serious hardcore Mega Man fans out there with some serious hardcore money. This is hardly news. Sony was talking about the PS4 versus the Xbox One and how it's a marathon and not a sprint. You know, it's what happens over time, but we all knew that. I don't see why everybody keeps reporting on this. Yeah, we know. It's nothing profound. Okay, so this one's pretty funny. This comes from GameSpot. Actually, it comes from Reuters originally. According to Reuters poll, more shoppers in the United States are interested in Sony's console than Microsoft's, with 64% not planning to buy any new hardware at all, which I think is hilarious and speaks a bit to the console community. Who knows? Maybe there is a good chunk of people out there that might just be very, very interested in the Steam machine, which we'll talk about in a minute. All right, so a few days ago, hold on, let me drink some coffee. So a few days ago, Valve trademarked Half-Life 3. And I think it was yesterday, suddenly the Half-Life 3 trademark vanished and the Portal 3 trademark appeared. So I don't know what's going on with that exactly. Is it a clever marketing campaign just to get people interested? I don't know. And so a lot of people were saying, well, that could be a very good reason to get a Steam machine if they release it exclusively on Steam, that being Half-Life 3. That would definitely get people to buy your console. Like, it's a Steam exclusive, so you either have to have a really kick-ass gaming computer, which I do. It's not that great. Or get the Steam machine, which would also be, I mean, I can see how that would kind of entice people to get it. But at any rate, that trademark is gone, and Portal 3 is now a trademarked thing. So I guess maybe they thought they were going to do Half-Life 3, and they decided, nope, take it down. We're gonna, pardon me, we are going to release Portal 3 first. I don't know. I mean, I'm totally fine with Portal 3. Portal 1 was fantastic. Portal 2 was actually even better than the first one. So to get another Portal game out there would also be spectacular and could entice people to pick up Steam machines. All right, so all this talk about the Steam machine. I have one more thing to talk about on that, and that is the specs have been revealed for the Steam machine itself. So let's go over the specs. So the GPU, there will be some units with the NVIDIA Titan, some with the GTX 780, some with the GTX 760, and some with the GTX 660. What that means is there are apparently going to be 4 probably different varieties of Steam machine, and basically 4 different price points. 8 gig hybrid, SSHD they call it. And in other words, I'm assuming that means that the solid state part of the hard drive will have 8 gigs of storage just so you can quickly access it. And then there will be an additional 1 terabyte, probably 5200 RPM, standard hard drive. It's going to have an internal 450 watt power supply, 80 plus gold, if that means that much to you. But 450 watt, that's actually pretty generous considering it's all pre-built and packaged. You wouldn't expect a 450 watt. Then again, if it's going to be running an NVIDIA Titan as well as all these other things, okay, yeah, maybe that makes sense. But that still seems fairly generous at 450 watts. But there you go. And the dimensions are going to be approximately 12 inches by 12.4 inches by 2.9 inches. Which to me sounds like it will be roughly the size of like an Xbox One, roughly the same shape, although 12 by 12.4 means it will actually almost be a perfect square. if you were looking at it, down from the top. And 2.9 inches. I mean, that's what, right about there. That's a good height. I mean, that's not that big really. So, and basically 1 foot by 1 foot. So, I don't know. It sounds cool, actually. It sounds like it'll be pretty damn cool. And finally, Games for Windows Live is no longer, which means 2K has stripped it from BioShock 2, which means I can finally play BioShock 2 because they got rid of their stupid fucking thing. I can never log into it. It always says my password's incorrect because my shit gets hacked, most likely. I can never log into that fucking thing, which means I can never save my fucking progress. Seriously, fuck you, Games for Windows Live. I'm so glad you're gone. I can actually play the games I paid fucking money for now. Oh, God, it was just the worst service. The worst. And I've seen some bad ones, but it was the worst. Anyway, that does it for me. I'm tired. I was watching football all day. The Seahawks, by the way, are doing exceptionally well. Though they lost this game, they're still doing great. They were playing against the Colts, and holy shit, the Colts, put up a fight. They did an excellent job. The score came down to, I can't remember what it was now. It was really close, and both teams played really well. And I think the Colts deserved to win that one. They had some insanely good plays. Anyway, I don't really talk about sports on this channel, but it was a hell of a game. And when your team is doing well, you tend to like that particular sport a lot more. Anyway, that does it for me. You know what? I gotta go pee really bad. I'll be right back. Oh.